Here's a full mythological retelling of the story of Eris, the goddess of discord, focusing on her infamous role in causing one of the greatest wars in history, the Trojan War. Eris, the goddess of discord and the apple of strife. The banquet of the gods, the halls of Olympus shimmered with golden light as the gods gathered for a grand celebration. The sea nymph Thetis and the mortal Peleus were to be wed, a union blessed by the divine, for their son would one day be greater than his father. Every Olympian was invited: Zeus, king of the gods, his wife Hera, the wise Athena, and the love goddess Aphrodite, among others. But one deity's name was missing from the guest list: Eris, the goddess of discord. Eris was no stranger to exclusion. The gods feared her presence, for wherever she went, strife and chaos followed. They wished to avoid her mischief, but Eris did not take insults lightly. As the feast carried on in Olympus, she lurked unseen in the shadows, her golden eyes burning with resentment. She would not be ignored. A wicked smile crept across her face as she reached into the folds of her black robe and withdrew a single apple, a golden fruit gleaming with an otherworldly glow. Upon its flawless surface, she inscribed 3 simple words: Tekalist, to the fairest. With a flick of her wrist, she cast the apple into the heart of the banquet. It landed with a soft thud upon the grand table, its golden skin reflecting the divine light of the torches. The music stopped. The laughter died. The gods turned their eyes toward the glittering fruit, and 3 goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, stepped forward, each believing it to be meant for her. The quarrel of the goddesses. "Clearly, the apple is mine," declared Hera, queen of the gods. "I am the wife of Zeus, the ruler of Olympus, and the most powerful among us." Athena scoffed. "Power does not equate to beauty, Hera. I am the wisest and most skilled in war. If any among us is fairest, it is I." Aphrodite, draped in a flowing gown of sea foam and roses, smiled knowingly. "There is no question that the apple belongs to me," she said, brushing a lock of golden hair from her shoulder. "I am the goddess of love and beauty itself." The tension in the air crackled like a brewing storm. Zeus, unwilling to take sides in what could become an immortal feud, refused to decide who was fairest. Instead, he chose a mortal judge, Paris, the Prince of Troy, a shepherd unaware of the divine struggle about to descend upon him. The judgment of Paris. Paris, the son of King Priam of Troy, lived a simple life tending sheep on Mount Ida, unaware of his royal blood. One day, he found himself visited by 3 radiant goddesses, each more magnificent than the last. They explained the purpose of their visit and placed the golden apple before him. "Choose wisely, mortal," said Hera, her regal presence commanding respect. "If you name me the fairest, I will grant you dominion over all lands. You will be a mighty king, ruling with power and wealth beyond your imagination." Athena stepped forward, her storm-gray eyes piercing. "Choose me, Paris, and I will grant you unmatched wisdom and skill in battle. You will become the greatest warrior the world has ever known, feared and revered alike." Last came Aphrodite, who leaned in closer and whispered, "Choose me, and I shall give you the most beautiful woman in the world as your wife, Helen of Sparta." Paris, young and ruled by desire, did not hesitate. He handed the golden apple to Aphrodite, sealing his fate. And that of countless others. The spark of the Trojan War, Aphrodite, true to her promise, arranged for Paris to claim Helen, the wife of Menelaus, king of Sparta. But Helen's abduction, or elopement, as some say, enraged the Greeks, and Menelaus called upon his brother Agamemnon, king of Mycenae, to rally the greatest warriors of Greece, Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, and others. Thus, the seeds of war were sown, and soon the shores of Troy would be stained with blood. The gods themselves took sides, Hera and Athena, enraged at Paris's choice, sided with the Greeks, while Aphrodite protected her favored city of Troy. For 10 long years, the war raged, bringing death, destruction, and the fall of mighty heroes. And far away, in the shadows of Olympus, Eris smiled. She had done what she did best, sown discord, and the world would never be the same again. The legacy of Eris. Eris, often overlooked among the Olympians, had proven that chaos, once unleashed, could shape the fate of mortals and gods alike. Her apple had set into motion a chain of events that would echo through history, proving that sometimes the smallest acts of mischief could lead to the greatest wars. Even today, the phrase apple of discord remains a symbol of strife, a reminder of the power of envy, rivalry, and the unseen hand of fate.
Eris, the goddess of chaos in Greek mythology. Eris, the goddess of discord and strife, plays a fascinating role in Greek mythology beyond just the infamous apple of discord that led to the Trojan War. She embodies chaos, conflict, and rivalry, often lurking in the background of major events. While not as frequently depicted as Zeus or Athena, Eris appears in several myths that highlight her disruptive power. Here are some other notable myths and aspects of Eris in Greek mythology. Eris and the primordial chaos. In some accounts, Eris is described as a primordial force rather than a traditional Olympian goddess. According to Hesiod's Theogony, she is the daughter of Nyx, night, born directly from the dark abyss of chaos itself. This makes her a sibling to deities such as Thanatos, death, Hypnos, sleep, Nemesis, retribution, and Moros, doom, all ominous, inevitable forces in the cosmos. As a daughter of night, Eris was not merely a troublemaker, she was the very essence of discord, an elemental power that influenced both gods and mortals alike. The two faces of Eris, good strife versus bad strife. Though Eris is often associated with destruction, Hesiod distinguishes between two kinds of strife. Harmful Eris, Eris, brings war, envy, and suffering, tearing societies apart with greed and conflict. Beneficial Eris, Eris, fuels ambition, competition, and progress, pushing mortals to work harder and improve themselves. Hesiod describes how good Eris can motivate farmers to work harder, craftsmen to refine their skills, and warriors to achieve greatness, showing that strife itself is not inherently evil. It is the way it manifests that determines its effect. This duality of Eris suggests that chaos can be both destructive and transformative, a necessary force in the balance of existence. Eris and the Trojan War, beyond the apple. Eris didn't just spark the Trojan War with her apple. She continued to influence the war from the shadows. Some accounts claim that she delighted in manipulating both Greeks and Trojans, whispering doubts and anger into the hearts of warriors, ensuring that even moments of peace were short-lived. She thrived in battlefields soaked with blood, lurking in the chaos and enjoying the endless cycle of revenge and destruction. According to Quintus Smyrnaeus's Post-Homerica, a later epic continuing the Iliad, Eris was present at the battlefield, walking among the dead, reveling in the carnage, and ensuring that hatred persisted. Even after Troy fell, her influence lingered. The war's aftermath led to the tragic fates of many Greek heroes, like Agamemnon's murder, Ajax's madness, and Odysseus's cursed journey home. Eris and Ares, a partnership in war. Eris is often associated with Ares, the god of war, and in some myths, she is depicted as his constant companion on the battlefield. While Ares relished the physical aspect of war, Eris delighted in the psychological aspect, turning brother against brother, fueling paranoia, and ensuring that peace was always temporary. Some even suggest that Eris was the one who incited Ares's most reckless and bloodthirsty battles, ensuring that he never fought with strategy, only rage. In Homer's Iliad, she is described as spreading terror across battlefields, making warriors tremble and increasing the bloodshed. Her presence multiplied suffering, making conflicts worse than they needed to be. Eris and her offspring, the forces of chaos. According to Hesiod, Eris gave birth to an entire host of malevolent spirits that represent the worst aspects of human conflict. Ponos, toil. Limos, famine. Algaea, pain and sorrows. Hismenai, battles. Makai, wars. Phonoi, murderers. Nikia, quarrels. Pseudeia, these. Amphilogiae, disputes. These children represent the different forms of suffering that arise from strife, further reinforcing her role as a force of chaos that extends beyond mere mischief. Eris in modern influence and philosophy. Eris's influence didn't end in mythology. She has inspired literature, philosophy, and even modern movements. Discordianism, a modern philosophical movement that views chaos as essential to the universe. It worships Eris not as an evil figure, but as a necessary, playful force that breaks stagnation and fuels progress. Literary symbolism. Eris is frequently referenced in works discussing the nature of conflict, ambition, and unpredictability. She appears as a symbol of rebellion, transformation, and disorder in various forms. Final thoughts. The legacy of Eris. Unlike other deities who represented static forces, love, wisdom, war, Eris embodied something unpredictable and ever-changing. She was neither good nor evil, but a catalyst of action, a reminder that even the smallest act of discord could reshape history. Her myths show that while chaos can destroy, it can also push begins to evolve, strive, and seek balance. Her role in mythology remains a testament to the unavoidable presence of conflict in the world, and the power it holds to shape destiny. Would you like a more in-depth story based on one of these myths? Or perhaps a new take on Eris in a modern or mythical setting?